Hello students, in previous lecture we discussed about isomerism. Then two types of isomerism are there, structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. In structural isomerism again classified in 6 groups. We discuss all the 6 isomers there. Now the second branch is stereoisomers. Now stereoisomerism is again a part of isomerism. Now the compound, when we are comparing two compounds having same molecular formula, same constitution, but different arrangement of atoms in molecule in space. Now stereoisomerism related with space, and in structural isomerism we just compare the compounds, or suppose we are having two compounds, they are having same molecular formula but their structures are different in some and other way. So that is the difference. But in stereoisomerism, the two stereoisomers, they are having same molecular formula, same constitution, means structure is also somewhat same, but different arrangement of atoms in molecule in space, means they are having different spatial arrangement, and they are called as stereoisomers, and the phenomenon is called as stereoisomerism. Now again, this stereoisomerism is classified into 3 types. Number 1, the very first one is optical isomerism, then second is geometrical isomerism, and third one is conformational isomerism. Now let's see all these isomerisms one by one. So first is optical isomerism. Now what is this optical isomerism? So the compound with similar physical and chemical properties. Why they are having same physical and chemical properties? Because their structures are similar. Okay, so the compounds with similar physical and chemical properties due to structural similarity but differ in their action on plane polarized light, they are called as optical isomers, and the phenomenon is known as optical isomerism. It is okay that the two compounds, they are having same similar structure, and therefore their physical and chemical properties are different. But we are saying that in optical isomers, they differ in their action on plane polarized light. So what is this plane polarized light? Now let's see. We know that a ray of ordinary light, it consists of waves vibrating in all possible directions, and they are right angle to the direction of propagation. Now when this light is passed through a polarizer, then these vibrations, which are directed towards all the direction, these vibrations, we can adjust the vibrations in such a way that they vibrate in a single plane only. You can see here wave motion of light, and the ordinary light, they vibrate in all possible directions. But when such a ordinary light passes through polarizer, for example Nicol prism, then the vibrations, they are adjusted in one plane, and that adjusted light whose vibrations occur only in one plane is called as plane polarized light, or PPL. And polarizer is a device used for conversion of ordinary light to PPL. Now what is optical activity? The compounds which are able to rotate this plane polarized light, means PPL. The compounds which are able to rotate PPL, they are known as optically active isomers, and this property is known as optical activity. Of course, compound may rotate PPL to right side, means clockwise or anti-clockwise, and depending upon that, now one thing is also there, two optical isomers are there, but they are mirror image of each other, but they are non-superimposable mirror image of each other. Now what is this non-superimposable mirror image? Now suppose you are keeping your hand or on mirror. So what happened, you will get exact image of your hand in mirror. But if you see there, you can see that if your left thumb is on the mirror, so mirror reflect your left thumb as right. Okay, so if that two images you are trying to superimpose, it is not possible. Means in the mirror, suppose you are having you are keeping your hand on mirror, your right thumb is on mirror, then you will get image that is like your left thumb is there, and therefore these two images they are non superimposable. अगर एक दूसरे के ऊपर रखते हो तो आपको वो सेम इमेज नहीं मिलेगी, एंड दैट इज मीन बाय नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल. सो these two optical isomers, they are non superimposable mirror image of each other. Now how optical isomer rotate PPL, in which direction, depending upon that. Now optical isomers, they are classified as dextro form or D form or dextro-rotatory form. In dextro form, what happened, the optical isomer which rotate the plane polarized light, means PPL, to right or clockwise direction, they are called as dextro-rotatory isomer, and the optical isomer which rotate PPL to left or anti-clockwise direction, they are called as leo-rotatory isomer. And when we take an equimolar mixture of both D form and L form and we mixed it, then what we get is a DL form, or it is also called as racemic mixture. Now this DL form or racemic mixture do not rotate plane polarized light. Why? Because we are taking equimolar mixture of D form and L form. So D form try to rotate PPL to clockwise direction, and L form equally try to rotate PPL to left or anti-clockwise direction, and therefore both the activity get cancelled, and therefore the racemic mixture is optically inactive. Okay, so optical isomers, depending upon clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation, they are classified as dextro form, which rotate PPL to right or clockwise, and another form is Leo form, which rotate PPL to left or anti-clockwise direction. And when we take equimolar mixture of these, we get racemic mixture, which is optically inactive. Racemic mixture is optically inactive, but dextro form is optically active, Leo form is optically active, because it is having capacity to rotate the PPL. Now let's see the conditions for optical activity, how, or the compound to become optical isomer, it should have some qualities, it should satisfy some conditions. Okay, so first condition, asymmetric carbon, means the compound for being optical isomer, or it showing optical activity, it must have at least one asymmetric carbon atom. Now what is this asymmetric carbon atom? Let's see. We know that carbon is tetravalent. Okay, means carbon is having tendency to form 4 bonds, 4 covalent bonds. Now when all these 4 valencies get satisfied by different atoms or groups, then that carbon, it is called as asymmetric carbon. See here, carbon is at the center, and suppose X, Y, Z, W, these are the different atoms which are forming bond with carbon. Means 4 valencies of carbon get satisfied by different atoms or groups, suppose, then that carbon, it is called as asymmetric carbon atom, and it is denoted by asterisk. The optical activity is shown by molecule, as I said earlier, having at least one asymmetric carbon atom. Suppose molecule or compound is having only symmetric carbon atom, then it is optically inactive. So this is a very first condition for compound to be optically active. Then second condition is there, we call it as element of symmetry. Now there are three elements of symmetries: plane of symmetry, center of symmetry and axis of symmetry. Suppose any compound or molecule is having any one of these symmetry, that compound will be optically inactive. Means for a compound to be optically active, it must have at least one asymmetric carbon atom, and that compound should not possess any of these three symmetries. Then only that compound will be optically active. So let's see what these three kind of symmetries are there. Now first one is plane of symmetry. For that, you can see we are taking example of tartaric acid. So what is the formula or structural formula for the tartaric acid? C, you can see here COOH, CHOH, again CHOH. In this structure you can see here H, both H are on in one side and both OH on the other side, and again COH. This is one structure. And another structure is also there where OH, they are on the opposite direction. Now let's see, take first example where both OH are on the same side. So in plane of symmetry, what happened when we an imaginary plane is drawn, we are drawing here an imaginary plane, and that imaginary plane must divide the molecule into two equal parts. And when we put a plane there or draw a line or plane there, what happened? The upper part is mirror image of suppose lower part. Such molecule, they are called as, they are having plane of symmetry. Means in first compound where both OH are on the same side, we put a imaginary plane between the compound, and we just look for the upper part is mirror image of lower part, and therefore this compound, the first compound is having plane of symmetry. And as this compound, first compound is having plane of symmetry, it is optically inactive, because it is the rule, it is a condition that if any compound possesses any symmetry, and this compound is having plane of symmetry, therefore this compound is optically inactive. But on the same basis, suppose we are taking second example where OH, they are on the opposite direction. Again we draw a imaginary plane between molecule, and now upper part is not a mirror image of the lower part, and therefore this second compound of tartaric acid is not having plane of symmetry. And as it is not having or not possessing the plane of symmetry, this compound, and it is having asymmetric carbon atom, this compound is optically active. So this is about plane of symmetry. Now the second symmetry is called as a center of symmetry. We are having example here, it is a cyclobutane, means 4 carbons, they are in a cyclic manner, so it is a cyclobutane. More precisely, we can see these substitutions here. On the first position there is bromo group, on the third position is also there bromo group, so we call it as 1,2 dibromo. They are on the opposite direction, so trans. And on second and fourth position, again in opposite direction, they are having a chloro group, so we are call the nomenclature or the name of the compound becomes 1,3 dibromo trans 2,4 dichloro cyclobutane. Okay, now in center of symmetry, if a line is drawn from any atom or group through a center, you can see a line is drawn from bromine to bromine and from chlorine to chlorine. Okay, from chloro group to chloro group and from bromo group to bromo group, and it passes to the center and it again meet to the identical group or atom when extended. You can see bromo group is we started drawing line from bromo group and it passes through a center and then it meet again to bromo group. Same for chloro group also. And suppose such conditions are there, means if a line is drawn from any atom or group through the center and if it meets through the identical group or atom, when extended, such compound they are said to have center of symmetry. And as the compound they are having center of symmetry, it should be optically inactive. So this compound is optically inactive. Then third symmetry is axis of symmetry. Now for this we take a molecule. Okay, so this you can see here is a molecule and we rotate that molecule by suppose 180 degree, means 360 by n and maybe anything. Suppose we rotate that molecule, what happened? Obviously by 180 degree, suppose we are rotating, what happened? The H which is now on the upper side goes to lower one. Just try to imagine that once line is there between the compound and you just rotate that line by 180 degrees Celsius. What happened? Every group they exchange their position. So here after rotating, what we get? Now CH3H, where CH3 is on the upper part, is now become a lower part. Okay, so in that way we get a compound, and now so we call that compound as the second compound. Now we are taking a mirror image, suppose, of that second compound. Mirror image means don't bother about the structure, just take a look on the group which are present on there. So CH3 remains on the same side, CH3H on the same side. Then again in the means it reflect in the same manner. So now we are having three structures, structure number 1, structure number 2, structure number 3. And if you try to match the structure number 1 to structure number 3, yes, exactly, the structure number 1 is mirror image of is similar to structure number 3. It is exact with the structure number 3. Okay, if such condition is there, then we said that the compound possess axis of symmetry and that compound they are optically inactive. Once again, we are having a compound, we rotate that compound by 360 by n, we get another structure, means we can call it as a structure number 2. Now we draw mirror image of structure number 2, so we get structure number 3, and when the structure number 1 and structure number 3 they are exactly same, then we can say that that compound possesses axis of symmetry and that compound is optically inactive. So these are the conditions for the optical isomer to show optical activity, that compound must have at least one asymmetric carbon atom, and that compound or that isomer should not possess any plane of symmetry, center of symmetry or axis of symmetry. Then only that compound will be optically active.